So we are going to show you how to make cinnamon rolls the easy / cheaters way. This is a recipe that it's great. It's easy. So I'm just going to use a little of my favorite Pam spray in a bowl. And then I'm going to take this frozen thaw and rise bread. We're going to put it in said bowl overnight. And I like to also spray the top of the bread so that way it doesn't stick to the saran wrap. Nice and easy here. It's so easy in the morning and it smells so great and it tastes even better. So I don't want to cover the bowl too tightly because I do leave a little bit of room for it to rise. And literally, friends, that's it. So we're gonna put it next to a heat source, the fireplace for tonight. And in the morning, we'll check in so you can see how easy this is to put together. Good morning. So we are here the next morning. The bread that we put in the bowl to rise up overnight did exactly that. We did put it by our fireplace in the kitchen so that we could make sure it would be nice and big this morning. So we're gonna go ahead and take it on over to the counter and I will show you the easiest way to put this together ever. So you will have hot cinnamon rolls on your table in about 20 minutes. My husband loves things a little bit spicy, even in cinnamon rolls. It's something about that sweet, salty thing. So what we do is we actually take these sriracha almonds that you can get pretty much anywhere, and I put them in the little Cuisinart thing. It's gonna get loud for a second, but I mix those up a bit. And those will actually go in half of the cinnamon rolls because I don't like things as sweet and salty and spicy as he does. So those will go in when we're getting things put together. Okay, the oven is going to be set at 350 degrees. So we'll get that pre-warming. That way when we are ready to put the cinnamon rolls in the oven, they go right into a nice hot oven. That way the cooking will happen a little bit faster. When I do my cinnamon rolls, I like to get everything out first thing before I even start. That way it's just right there handy for me to grab as I'm making the cinnamon rolls. So I use Morena pure cane sugar. You can use whatever kind of sugar that you like. You can use brown sugar, you can use white sugar. I just prefer the pure cane sugar. Cinnamon, obviously we're making cinnamon rolls and you can use however much of that you like. Again, it's a personal preference thing. I'm terrible at following recipes because I go with what I like and what my husband likes and our family like. So with that, you can use however much you want. Butter, I usually use about a cube of butter. That gives it a nice buttery flavor. It also helps kind of caramelize things when it's baking in the oven. And I don't use a knife when I cut my cinnamon rolls. I use dental floss, and I'll show you why. It works fantastic. First step, we're gonna go ahead and spray our pan here. That way those gooey cinnamon rolls do not stick to the pan. And we're going to go ahead and I just use the counter. Some people want to use a cutting board, some people want to use a stone. Again, it's all personal preference, but I just go ahead and go right on the counter. And I also don't use a rolling pin. With this bread dough, it makes it super easy just to kind of get in there and stretch it out. It's okay if there's a few holes, it doesn't have to be perfect. Julia Child may disagree with me, but these are our cinnamon rolls, not hers. So I've got this all stretched out, kind of in a rectangle. Some parts are thicker than others. Again, it's okay. They don't have to be perfect. If you want them perfect, I guess you can work harder to not have any holes. And then I'm just gonna take the butter and I try to get it up as close as I can to the edge. I have found by doing this for several years that if you use too much butter, it just creates a mess. So I have found that this one loaf of bread and 1 cube of butter works pretty well. I like to soften it first because I've already got holes in the bread. I don't want to make any more if possible. My friends that own a bakery are probably cringing right now, but that's okay. Again, it's just a Sunday morning. thing that we like to do. And then I take the sugar and I just kind of sprinkle it on there. Again, it's a personal preference how sweet you want these to be and how, or not. And then we're gonna take our cinnamon here. And this is where I like a lot of cinnamon because I love the flavor of a cinnamon roll that actually tastes like a cinnamon roll. And I get over the edges so that whoever gets the bottom piece or the end piece doesn't get missing out on the cinnamon. Okay, now we're gonna take these nuts and I'm gonna kind of sprinkle them again on half. I'm gonna make sure to get all that good part that's in there. And if you have a nut allergy, obviously don't have the nuts. And then we're just gonna start by just rolling this up and just kind of working our way across. I don't want to lose your interest, so we're trying to hurry up here. Now these, you can make them thicker if you want by letting them kind of rise up a second time. These are probably not going to be super big cinnamon rolls, just based on how this is kind of rolling out, but there'll be a lot of great little, I guess, bite-sized ones. Okay, and then when you get to the end, the thing I like to do is just kind of pinch it in there real tight with that end piece and button it all up nicely. Okay, here's the easy and the fun part with the dental floss. Take your dental floss and I kind of mark where those nuts are so I know where halfway is. And I'm gonna slide it right under here. And I make about, I don't know, what is that, 1.5 inch, 2 inch piece. And I literally just cross it over and I slice it through. Voila, look at that. We've got one of our first cinnamon rolls there. And because that's the size I've set, I need to stay consistent so that the baking process goes even. And it looks like I may not be quite there in the middle. So looks like Will's gonna get a little extra on his side there. And if you want, you can absolutely use a second pan with the nut ones, but you don't have to. And I'll push them down just a little bit there so that they kind of match in size. These are gonna be pretty amazing. I'm certain of that this morning. And those last two going in. Now these are gonna go into the oven, and you know, I don't wanna miss out on some of this goodness here, so we're just gonna smash it in there. So these will go in the oven. I don't cover them or anything. I usually start at 15 minutes and then I check them after that. During that 15 minutes, that gives me the time to make the cream cheese frosting that goes on top of them. Now we take these over to the oven and get the baking process started so we can start breakfast. And in the oven they go, and we'll catch you in a few minutes. Meanwhile, I'm going to be making that cream cheese frosting. We'll start by softening a block of cream cheese for the cream cheese frosting. I've already done that in the microwave, so we will use my most favorite tool and prized possession in the kitchen, the ever handy KitchenAid. And we'll get that softened up here a little bit and just quickly mix it. And then you can see that we have the other three ingredients. Again, I don't measure anything, I just go by how it tastes, how it looks. Powdered sugar, vanilla, you can or cannot use that. If you don't want it, don't use it. And whole milk. You can use any kind of milk you want, even almond milk. Depends on what you like. So I don't measure, but if I were to measure, I'd say I start with about 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. We'll say, I don't know, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. And I will mix that in before I mix in the milk. Now what I'll do is I will take a spatula and I will just knock the cream cheese off the edges here so that I can make sure I'm mixing everything in. And then we will go ahead and add just maybe 1 tablespoon of milk, just enough to kind of make it creamier. And we'll probably have to add a little bit more powdered sugar just to make it of a spreading consistency. Maybe another, I don't know, 1/8 of a cup. We'll look at that and we'll mix that up nice. So I mix it up till most of the cream cheese is mixed in thoroughly. And then the best way I find is taste it. I think it's gonna be delicious. Now you can add a little more vanilla, more milk, more powdered sugar, whatever you want. This is pretty cream cheese tasting, which we prefer. If not, again, add more sugar. With that, we're ready. We just need to wait for those cinnamon rolls to come out of the oven. It's been 20 minutes, so these cinnamon rolls are ready. We'll take this little oven pusher puller squirrel, and that way I don't have to use a oven mitt right now. Just our oven rack comes out really hard sometimes. So using this thing that my father-in-law has made for me is a very easy way to get that oven rack out. And then we will go ahead and take out these delicious cinnamon rolls. The house smells so good right now. And they are still a little light. Sometimes you see them more brown. It could be that I'm just cooking at 350 degrees. I don't know, but there's lots of butter that's oozing in the bottom down there. We're gonna get these on the plates and have some breakfast. Easy way to make cinnamon rolls. Quick, easy, smells amazing, tastes great. I hope you give it a try. If you have any questions, please reach out in the comments below. And don't forget to like. Thanks.